Hey there, it's Kathy with Be Creative with Kathy, and in this video I'm going to show you how to put together my May and June now stamp a greeting class. So I have my stamp set here, and well, and my ink pad here, and I got all my adhesives to the side, and I'm ready to go. So in your packet, as you know, you got the printout that has pictures of all the cards that we're going to make and all the measurements in case you want to make them again. And then let's get down to the fun part with the cards. So this is just my thank you card. I hope you know how much I appreciate you buying my packets. And then we're going to start with the white one. So it looks like this. Set those aside. I'm going to bring in that stamp set, the Peaceful Moments, and I'm going to use this Always Remember because I think that's good for an anniversary or even a wedding card. So let's take out the pieces of our cardstock here. Okay, so my packets are going to be just a little bit different in yours in that I only have one card in my packets to where you have two. So make sure you do two at a time. And it looks like you get a bunch of these little flowers like this. Now I gave you more than what you'll use, at least more than what I'm going to use, but that's just how the die worked out. So we'll set those aside. I'm going to stamp real quick. Let me put the envelope aside too. I'm going to stamp here on this little oval. And if you want to stamp on the inside, now would be a good time. Boy, I have a lot of flowers in this one. Must be left over from the, but anyway. Okay, so I'm going to stamp here with my black Memento ink, and I'm going to practice once here on my scratch paper. Okay, and then just straight down. That's hard to see. Let me get a darker piece of paper so the white on white is hard to see. Here we go. But I'm going to just set that down, let that ink sink in. Hope I got it inked up good. Oh, yeah, I think that looks really good. I'm really happy there. Okay, and then I'm going to take this and then just layer it onto my oval. And I'm just putting it flat. But of course, you could do whatever you want with your card kit. That's the cool thing about getting a card kit and making them yourself. Okay, and I'm going to just set that aside. And then I have my card base and the layer here that is embossed. And I'm going to just lay that right on top of my card base. There we go. And then we need to adhere these two pieces together. So you have the back and then you have the fine cut front. And I'm going to use my silicone mat, and I'm going to make sure he's clean. Sometimes when you set him down, he gets that lint and stuff all over him. So I'm going to clean him up, make sure he's nice and clean. And then with a sponge. And now, since we don't sell sponges anymore, you could also use a dauber. A dauber would work the same way. But I'm going to go ahead and use a sponge, and I'm going to let me get the logo out of the way. There we go. A little bit of liquid glue on the corner of my craft mat here. And then lay this face side down. So this is the back. The back is up. And I'm going to just kind of sponge, making sure that my paper doesn't move, so I only get ink on the back, or glue on the back of it, not on the front. Now, if you do happen to get glue on the front, the way it daubs on like this, it's easy just to kind of roll off, but it would be better if we only got the glue on the back side. Okay, then we're going to bring our other little piece in here and then just layer those together. Now you could, excuse me, if you don't have a craft mat and a sponge, you could just take and daub some little bit of glue on the back of the fine cut piece and set it on there. But look how easy that is, excuse me, to get those two pieces together. Now let me see, I'm gonna try to decide, here, let me bring in my sample card so you can see what we're doing. But I'm gonna try, I think I like it just like, do I want it that way? Or do I want it? Nope, I think I want it this time. Looks like last time I did it the other way, but this time I want it this way. I don't know. So I'm going to bring in that liquid glue again. And then just now where it has the the larger parts of the leaves and the flowers. I'm not going to worry about gluing the whole thing down. I just don't want it to fall off my card. But if it has a little bit of lift, it's going to be, I think it's going to be pretty that way and give the card some character. So I'm going to just get some of these big centers and edges here. And then, which way did I say I wanted it? I guess if it takes me that long to decide, it doesn't matter, right? And I'm going to lay that down on the top of my card. And look how beautiful those layers are together. In that white, it's just stunning. So now the next thing I want to do is I'm going to put on my words here. And I'm going to use some dimensionals. Oh, and it looks like well, I might be low on dimensionals. I should have brought another dimensional pack, but that's okay. We're going to just take our little sentiment here. There, that's what I was looking for. And lay about, I think it looks good right there. And then with these little guys, I'm going to use some mini dimensionals, or you could cut off, well, no, I'm going to use the mini dimensionals. You could also cut the other dimensionals down. And I'm going to just put a dimensional on the back. And darn it, I wish I had white ones, but all I have over here is black ones. And I'm going to just kind of fill in those empty spots here with these little flowers. And I'm going to put the dimensional on the back of this, and you're going to say like, hey, Kathy, but you can see through it. But then I'll put a pearl on there that's going to cover up that dimensional. We'll set him, let's put him over here. And then one more. I'm only going to use 3. I like the odd numbers. So like I said, I put too many flowers in your kit, but that way you could decide which ones you like. And then this one, I think I'm going to just put right there. Okay, then last but not least, I gave you a whole, well, 2 whole strips here of the pearls. And now we're going to just splatter those on our card. Now the first thing I want to do is get rid of this black dimensional. So I'm going to take a big old honkin' pearl here. Excuse me, and put it right on top of that to cover that dimensional. And then I'm going to take a few of these other pearls and just splatter them around. Now you probably have too many pearls too. And oh, I forgot to tell you, I hope you haven't put your pearls on yet, but I'm going to take one of the largest pearls and set it right here in the center under my words, and then a couple smaller pearls just to the side to give that some just because that's your focal piece, and I think that looks pretty just like that. There we go. And then I'm going to just splatter on some other pearls here and there. And like I said, you can go wild and use all the pearls. You can see where you think your card needs them and just splatter them on there like that. I think, oh, here I have one straggler. I might as well use him. Don't let him go to waste. Nope, but he lost a glue dot over here. So never mind. Okay, so there's card number 1. Okay, let's go on to card number 2. Card number 2, we're going to make this blue butterfly card. This pearl will not go away. There he goes. Got him off my finger. Okay, we're going to go ahead and hang on to the envelope on this one because I'm going to use some pieces of our card kit to decorate it. But here's your card base. I've already put this piece on and cut these 2 pieces out for you. We're going to set aside this one with our envelope. And we're going to bring in this one here. Now let me bring in my sample card so you can see what we're making. We're making this one. And the first thing you want to do is if you want to stamp on this piece before you lay it down in case you have to turn it over, you want to stamp here. But be careful because when you pop this up, you want to make sure you stamp on the bottom part of the card, not underneath where this is going to be. So make sure you stamp along here. I'm not going to stamp. I'm going to leave my blank. I'll stamp on it when it comes time to mail it out. But I'm going to take this white piece right here and just put it on the inside of my card. Like that. There we go. Okay, let's do some stamping really quick. So we're going to stamp on this oval here, and I have the congratulations. Oh, did you see that? That was bad. It's all right. It landed on my scratch paper, not on my cardstock. Yeah, all thumbs today. Then I'm going to take this and I'm going to stamp just on the bottom half. I'm going to put my butterfly up here, so I want to just stamp on the bottom half of my oval. Not too far the bottom, but about there. Let that ink sink in. Nice. Okay, I'm going to set that aside, let that kind of dry. Bring in this piece that has the 3 score lines. Let's just fold on those score lines. And those score lines, makes it now that we have the 4 rectangles. So I'm going to fold it in half. And then on the top rectangle here, I'm going to just take liquid glue and cover that top rectangle. And I like the liquid glue. You wouldn't have to use liquid glue. You could use, Terran tape or CO+. I suggest a little bit stronger adhesive, but I think the liquid glue works because then we're going to take it and set it along this score line right here. And make sure your card can close. And I'm going to try to center it in this oval. So if it's not center with that liquid glue, you could move it around a little bit. But I think mine looks pretty good there. You can make sure, like I said, your card will close, and it needs to be right against that score line. And now it looks like I have ink on my fingers. I'm getting them all on my paper. But anyway, okay, so now we're going to glue this rectangle to the top part of this card. So I'm going to kind of just make a little U shape here with my glue. And then I'm going to put a little bit of glue here. That way I know where it's going to glue onto my rectangle, and close that down. Make sure that's good and adhered. And what this does is make the mechanism of our card. Now it might not open all the way, but we want to make sure that it closes. Closing is more important than opening all the way. So it looks like that now. You can see how that goes like that. Okay, now with this little piece of cardstock here, I'm going to just fold it in half. And now I'm going to hold on to the fold side and put a little bit of liquid glue toward the center and kind of on the edge, about like that. And then I'm going to tuck this right here on there. This is what our oval is going to hold on to. So it'll open up like this. But this part is stuck down. Oop, it wasn't stuck down yet, and now I moved it. There we go. And I got a little bit of adhesive here. Let me get that off when I wiggled my card to show you. This part is stuck down, and this flaps back and forth like that. Now we're going to glue our oval onto this part, so I'm going to put liquid glue all over that. And then put my oval right back down into that open where it came from. And then make sure your card, it's where it needs to be. And now it all looks like that. So then when you open your card, it has that pop and it opens up like that. Let me get all those little shavings off of there. Okay, so now it's time to put the front. I'm going to take this one with just a few dimensionals and adhere this. Now this could also be laid flat. You wouldn't have to use dimensionals on this part here. And I'm going to lay it right here in the center of that oval. And then with just a little bit of liquid glue on the body of my butterfly. I want his wings to kind of have some lift to him. I'm going to just lay him right here in the center. Now, if you stamped your congratulations a little high and he sticks up this way off of the oval, that's fine. It won't hurt a thing. You just can't have him off of this side or below. Or this side. I guess you can't have him off to the side because they'll get hooked up with your mechanism, or below. But look how pretty that card is now. So that's card number 2. But then let's go ahead and use this piece. What I did was I just took some liquid glue toward the top here and glued that right here to the top of my, well now I glued it to the bottom. Okay, do it on the top. My goodness, make sure you're on the right side. And then like this. Then when I go to mail, oh, that would work too though, because then when I put adhesive and I go to mail my envelope, it just has a little sneak peek of what's inside for your recipient. So it looks like that. And that's what I did with this card. Alrighty, moving right along. So let's go to the next card. We're gonna bring in this packet here. This is a very simple, but I think really pretty card. I love this designer series paper. I wish we still had it. But we're gonna just start simple. Of course, if you want to stamp on the inside, now would be the time. I'm gonna go ahead and stamp a happy birthday right here on this oval. Try not to get my head in the camera, pardon me if I do. And stick, I should have used that other piece of paper too that was darker. Oh, but I did fine. I think that looks really good. I'm gonna set that aside, let that ink dry just a little bit. Go ahead and put this white piece on the inside. Like I said, if you stamped on this, you could do this part later too. Let it dry if you need to. We don't need the envelope for this one. I'm gonna just set it aside. And then on the inside, put my basic white cardstock here. There we go. Then I'm gonna take this piece of designer series paper and that ribbon, and I'm going to tie just a simple knot around the designer series paper. Well, easier said than done. There we go. Now I'm going to show you just a quick tip. Say for instance that you got this and it's got a big, it's like not tight as you'd want it. It has a big buckle in the back. All you'd have to do is take some everyday Scotch tape. Let me put my ribbon where I want it. So this is going to go here. I think it would look good about there. Is you would just take and pull it tight where you want it and put some tape here, and then pull it tight on this side and put a piece of tape here. Then if you have a little buckle in the back, it's not a big deal, it won't show, but yet the front of your ribbon is going to be nice and taut, just like that. So let's trim these down just a little bit. Okay, then you could just lay this flat on your card, or you could pop it up with dimensionals. I'm gonna go with flat because I want it to be easy to mail. So just a little bit of, okay, Kathy, tape runner, well maybe, there we go, tape runner on the back. Doesn't like the feel of this designer series paper, how smooth it is. We'll lay this on the front, like so. Look how pretty already. And then with just a couple dimensionals, oh no, we got to put this first onto the scalloped oval. Like there, and then a couple dimensionals on the back. Now I'm also going to put a dimensional right here at the top, and that way it keeps it from teeter-tottering. I don't know if that's the right word, but it's going to help me keep my greeting here nice and flat. There we go. Okay, and then last you have some bling that looks like this. Now you have to take your pearl and put it on top of your little flower, and then I'm going to just pop that off of this little plastic backing and put that right here. Well, maybe it stuck to my finger. There we go, right there on our card. And there you go. Now we have card number 3. Okay, let's go on to the last card. The last card is this little dinosaur. Oh, I keep forgetting to bring out my sample cards to show you. Looks like this. We can set that envelope aside. Now with this card, you'll notice that my little embellishment here is a leaf that looks like this. And I just took all the embellishments I had and divvied them up amongst the packets. So you probably have too many embellishments, but that's better than not enough, right? So we'll use those later. I'm gonna go ahead and take my Designer Series paper and just attach it to the front of my card. Excuse me, doggone it. Now's the time to stamp. If you wanted to stamp on the inside of your card, I would do it now. And we're going to stamp, or at least I'm going to stamp a happy birthday on this little die, or this punch that's right here. So I'm taking my little happy birthday, and I'm going to just try to center it right there in the center. It looks pretty good. Oh heavens. I'll let that sit aside and dry a little bit. Let's go ahead and make our dinosaur. Oh my, and I got, oh no, I have one eye. I've misplaced my eyes. I hope you have not misplaced your eyes. My dinosaur is going to have one eye. Yeah, where is my see? So I guess the first thing you should do when you get your kit is put your eyes on your dinosaur. Let's see if they're still in the bag. He is not. So make sure, and boy, if you're missing an eye, you let me know and I'll send you a few more. But we're going to just put, I'm going to put liquid glue for one eye. That's embarrassing that I only have one eye here. Anyway, let's keep going. And I'm going to glue his little eye right there on the little dinosaur. There we go. And then a little bit of liquid glue on the back of him. And just a little bit on the back of his body will go a long way. And then we're going to glue his little spines or spikes, or I guess, is it a dinosaur spine? What are these things called? Anyway, it looks like he's winking at me. I'm going to have to go find another eyeball. That's going to drive me nuts. Okay, and then on the back of him, I'm going to just put a couple dimensionals, kind of helping to hold that spine on there too. Like that. Okay, a couple dimensionals on the back of this, and I'm going to go ahead and use the side of my dimensionals like this. Use the whole thing of your dimensionals. Never let any of them go to any waste. Take that, lay this on my card base. While I'm here, I might as well go ahead and put the inside of my card in. There we go. Then I'm going to take this, or greeting here, and just lay it flat onto that oval. There you go. Dimensionals on the back of it. And lay this down at the foot, I guess you'll say, of my dinosaur, or the bottom of that scalloped rectangle. And then take my little dinosaur here and set him so he's standing on those sentiments, and make sure he's standing up nice and straight and tall. And then, depending on which one of these embellishments you want, we'll put him right there. And then maybe we'll take that other embellishment and stick it here on the inside. Just a little bit of character there for the inside. So there are the 4, move everything around, cards that are in your kit. Now you, like I said, you'll make 2 of each one, and they'll look like that. Of course, if you're missing an eyeball, please let me know. I'm sure I counted them 12 times, but you never know. And if you have any questions regarding your card packets, let me know about that too. So thanks again, and I hope you have a great day, and check back next month for my other Stamp a Greeting. Bye-bye.